We're live.
That's it.
We are ready to go.
Did you press record?
Yeah. All right.
Then we're on. Toby, we're on.
Game on.
Welcome to A Dose of Positive, mate.
Hey, welcome to Creative Cubes.
Thank you.
Collingwood.
Now, this is interesting. This is a different backdrop. For those of us who watch the YouTube channel, A Dose of Positive on YouTube, you can see this is with respect to my immaculate apartment. Look, this is next level. Thank you for hosting me at your newest facility in Collingwood in Melbourne.
Appreciate you. Thank you for coming by.
It is Tobi Skovron. He is the founder of Creative Cubes. It's a great story, and there's plenty of forums for more hard-nosed business conversations. This is A Dose of Positive. This is about positive energy for everyone, whether they're interested in business or they just generally want to improve their life in some way and just feel good.
Yep.
Listen to a couple of people talk for 20 minutes and at the end of it go, there's something I can take out of this. God, I feel good. Great.
Yep.
And so that you're the perfect guest.
Thank you.
Firstly, before we get into it, in terms of where I want to take this conversation, which is very much around relationships, because when I think of relationships, you're the guy, like, you know everyone.
I know a lot of people.
You know so many people.
Yes.
So I want to talk to you about the importance of relationships, both professional ones, personal ones. Sometimes the line blurs, in fact.
Yep.
Friends can become business
Yep.
colleagues and
Vice versa.
vice versa.
Yeah.
The quick pitch on Creative Cubes for those who've come into my podcast and need to understand this business that you have built.
Yeah, so from the get-go, a lot of people come to us because they have office accommodation needs. I need a co-working space, I need a meeting room, I need an event space, I need a 2-person, 5-person, 10-person, 50-person private office. So they come to us because they have that need. They actually end up staying with us long-term because of the relationships and the culture that we foster here at Creative Cubes. The mandate here is to deliver happiness. A Dose of Positive kind of intersects beautifully with that. But we have our own happiness team on site at all properties. In fact, the biggest division here at Creative Cubes is the happiness team. And they are that culture layer, and they are that glue that bonds, a high scale tech startup with a traditional food KFC, fast food company, right? And we're the glue between those that sort of bring those worlds together, flex them in, flex them out, run incredible events on sites for and on behalf, with and for, and it really is an addictive place to be.
Yeah, it's funny, the happiness team, just to put it into context, just from my point of view, every Creative Cubes I've been to, South Melbourne, Carlton, this new one at Collingwood, you walk into a Creative Cubes and the first thing you see is this big yellow sign that says happiness, and they're the people at the front. They're always a great energy.
Yes.
And so I suppose that's where the happiness team's role starts, is they are the first impression, if you like, for what you guys are doing.
Not exclusively, but yes, you're right. So they're the first impression for greeting people on property, but they may not be representing Creative Cubes. They might be representing Gammy Chicken and Beer. They may be representing Karen Williams and Associates. They may be representing Purpose Productions. The people and the companies that reside within, the happiness team is the first touch.
Right.
And it's not necessarily because they come into Creative Cubes.
Of course.
They might be coming to see James or Byron.
Right. So they have to reflect, I suppose, the values and the energy of all of your people that are tenants inside of this place. Yeah, wow. So it's a huge job. And what you do, that comes with a responsibility, because, you're not representing just yourselves, but you're representing everybody.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah,
Huge.
and I think that plays into why people are here long term. The client that comes to see, let's say, Karen Williams, for example, rocks up and says, "Hi, I'm here to see Karen Williams." No problem. Can we get you a coffee? Can we get you this? We've got a meeting room over here, booked beer. They're not too intuitive in line or really of the understanding that we don't work for Karen, but we do work for Karen.
Right.
But we are hyper focused on making sure that Karen's clients and Jun's clients and James's clients and anyone else's clients that come to Creative Cubes are met with happiness.
Yeah, look, and this is where I wanted to really probably go a little deeper with you. You have built this business and it's a phenomenal success, and you should be very proud. And I know the nature of how you operate is you're looking for the next thing, And so you probably don't sit around too often and, take stock.
I feel like I'm somewhere between bunting the ball and making it to first base.
Right.
But for everyone else, it's like 2 home runs.
It looks to be, pretty solid innings. Yeah. relationships, mate. And there have been far too many conversations. I don't even want to say the P word, but what we've been through over the last few years, I genuinely believe now, at least from my point of view, I don't want to be isolated. I do not want to be at home. I have said no to so many Zoom meetings. I've actually flown to Sydney to have a meeting with someone. That's how much I don't want to have a Zoom meeting.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah.
I think there's something really special. I try and, in fact, a dose of positive so far. I haven't done one remote interview, and if I can get away with it, I won't do one remote interview. I think whilst we went, wow, look what we can do with technology because we were forced to and we had to, it's not a preference for most people, and you cannot beat face-to-face. Have you been getting a lot of that feedback since what we all went through?
Yeah. So when the proverbial hit the fan, we sell office space really from a commodity level. We don't really like office space as a vehicle for what we do, right? We're not in the office space business, but we are. People ran for the hills, right? And it was a really hard place to be, a really hard business to be in. Coming off the back of restrictions easing, we surge. It's almost like we are, the vehicle itself, Creative Cubes, is the canary in the coal mine. And the second there's life and energy, and the party's on, it's gangbusters around here. When we're imposed restrictions and all that sort of stuff, like we drop pretty quickly as well, right? Inquiry drops, the property drop. But for the most part, with the pandemic coming to an end on Wednesday, we're on fire right now.
Yeah.
Which is a great place to be. The traditional office space is taking a massive beating because people do want to be around their colleagues, but they're not inspired by the corporate HQ. And so we're that, not necessarily a halfway house, but we're a place where people love to be. And the people that are working inside here are growing like wildfire right now.
Some people, I know some personally, who are very introverted, shy, and in some ways enjoyed lockdown. They actually liked it.
I understand that.
And I think even people like myself and yourself, we are generally extroverted. I mean, I speak for a living. You're constantly speaking in front of people. Even in our more compromising moments, we might not always feel like being social. We might have days where we'd like to sort of stay at home and not be social. For the most part, we're social, but sometimes we want to. It amazes me the amount of times when I haven't felt like going somewhere, whether it's socially or in business, but I've persisted anyway, and I've gone to that party where I woke up going, no, I don't know anyone there. I feel a bit...
Best night ever?
Yeah, they always work out, and you meet people, and sometimes you have to push yourself through that comfort zone, but the rewards, whether it is social or business. So, you will come across people who do want to better their business and grow their networks, who maybe a part of them likes working from home because, I just get to be in my little bubble and, it's my ecosystem and I do what I want. But the opportunities here, even if you are a bit of an introvert, like you just got to push through it, don't you?
So there's so much to unpack there, right? Often the most successful things you'll ever do are on the opposite side of the comfort zone, right? And pushing yourself out to do something is far more rewarding than staying closed. If you want to work from home, that's great. But are you meeting your client at your kitchen table or in your front living room or, in your apartment? The reality is no. So you've got to find a place, and the cafes are not, cafes are a great place to sort of have a coffee and be social, or lunch and be social. But to get commerce done, to have really important, deep thinking days, whiteboards, etc., work from home, but meet your clients here, and that's sort of been off the back of the pandemic, that's been something that's really worked really nicely for us. And then once they've come in, to your point, push myself to get to that party or that outing, or I'm not really into it. And then I go, I was like, that was the best night ever. People come here going, I don't really, and they come in and then like, wow, can I get a desk? Can I get a meeting room for 2 days in 3 weeks time? Because I've got this really important project that I'm unfolding.
Yeah.
So I think most of the reward is on the other side of the comfort zone. If you think about just going to the gym and getting up early, I get up at 4:30 every morning. I don't love it, but geez, I feel great when I've done it. And so, push yourself.
That's a great way to look at growing a business, I think. That exact quote, that most success is on that other side of that comfort zone. And something like seeing Creative Cubes, having a look around, if you're working from home, that you might not feel like you're ready for that. You might not feel like you want to do that, but just rock up and see what can come of it. Where did your knack for relationships start? Because I touched on this at the start. You know lots and lots of people. There's only one other guy that I know who knows as many people as you. He's a guy called Sat Bisler. He's in Los Angeles, and he knows everybody in the music industry, literally everybody.
Sure.
Record labels, artists, managers, and he's the king of the email intro. Hey, Byron, you need to meet this person. You need to meet this person. And he'll CC people, and all he does is just network. I don't know. He seems to have it all in his head.
Yep.
Where did it start for you, and how the hell do you remember everybody that you know?
So what's important to me is a priority to me. Yeah. What's important to me is relationships. So pre-Creative Cubes, I was in a business that was in the pet space of all places, cats and dogs. And
This is so random.
Yeah, I used to manufacture pet products. And what I learned there from a real fundamentals position is the relationship that opens the door, and it's the relationship that closes the door once you're in it, that ultimately keeps the door bolted closed to competitors and all the rest of it. So as a entrepreneur running a pet business, my top 3 values within that organization, number 1 was relationships, number 2, relationships, and number 3, relationships, right? And I made that sacred and really, really important to me. And in return, I earned respect. And in return, I was able to deliver on product and service. And after a 10-year period, I had a significant exit, which, by the way, I'm living paycheck to paycheck at the moment, because I plowed it all back into Creative Cubes, because that journey was incredibly successful, but it was also incredibly lonely. And we didn't have pandemic in the early 2000s, but working from home was really isolating. And while I have a beautiful wife, and now I have beautiful kids, my mom, my sisters, and my family didn't really understand the trials and tribulations of business. And so building out Creative Cubes is really enabled me to surround other people that felt like I did back in the early 2000s, to be able to come together, network, have fun, enjoy their time. Byron, we're not here for a long time. I turned 42 yesterday. My dad died when he was 44.
Yeah, man.
Right? And so I think about, if my time is up in 2 years' time, which I don't think it is, right? But if it was, am I doing what I'm doing today? And am I enjoying myself today? And the answer to both those things is yes, because we're here for a good time, not a long time. And while Creative Cubes does have an element of really like having fun and having the right people in the right room and the party going, it's a place of business and commerce and a way for people to immerse themselves with like-minded people. And so the value of people, like people say, Creative Cubes real estate business, right? No, we're in the people business.
Yeah.
We just happen to use real estate as a vehicle to enable people to come together. But relationships is number 1, 2, and 3 for me.
Yeah, and so it's that idea of pushing yourself, get out of that comfort zone in every conceivable way. I remember one of the first ever trade events I went to as a young radio disc jockey, and I had a bit of a side hustle as a production company that was doing some imaging work for radio stations. And I went to LA for the very first time, and it was one of these R&R convention type events. And I thought, oh, well, this is a business event, so I better bring all my business stuff, and I better get ready to talk business to all these people. And I worked out a few days in, they were just all there to party. They could give a shit, right? Now, most of them were employees of big media businesses, so they didn't necessarily have skin in the game, and it was a bit of a annual rort for them, to be honest. Sure. But I worked out by the end of that, you actually had more chance getting business done if you just partied with them.
Sure.
To what extent do you think that is a thing? Because honestly, I mean, I know it's only in certain situations, but partying with people, I've actually ended up doing quite a bit of business with people I've met in nightclubs, to be honest.
Yeah, I haven't. However, I get it. I was just in San Francisco last week for 4 days, right? I was there at Dreamforce. I was there to get shit done. But everything was, hey, can you meet me at this bar after hours at this bar?
Right.
So I get it. You kind of want to be amongst it to then give yourself optionality. I love basketball. I know you love basketball.
Love it.
I think about basketball every moment of the day.
Wow.
If I am dribbling and I pick up my dribble and I'm in the backcourt and the basket's 90 feet away and I've pulled up my dribble, I've got two options. I can shoot it. I'm in the backcourt, so I'm like too far away to shoot it, or I can pass it. You know, a great point guard takes the ball to the middle, keeps the dribble alive, which gives him three options: dribble, pass, or shoot. And if I'm close enough, I should be able to shoot. And if I'm not, I can pass it off, or I can dribble to get myself or the team in position. And so I just think about optionality at all times. Never close your eyes, never close yourself off to, are you going to a nightclub? I'm here to do business, saying thanks, but no thanks. Go, keep your dribble alive and see where the game unfolds in front of you, right? And so I'm not into the party. I'm not into late nights. I get up at 4 a.m. every single day. However, I understand where opportunities on the other side of the uncomfortable lie.
Which ironically for you is a nightclub. That is uncomfortable because you'd rather be in a gym.
So I had someone in Australia at Salesforce nudging me to say, hey, you need to go to this, you need to go to that. And I'm like, I am taking bullets for the team here. What the hell am I doing here at a nightclub at 2 o'clock in the morning? And like all these types of things, all these messages, it's not me.
Right.
However, I understand where the opportunity is. And I understand that in order to go, it's the relationship that comes from whatever happens that sort of unfolds over the next 6, 12 days, 6, 12 months, 6, 12 years. That will put you in good place.
Yeah.
For business.
And I suppose it's staying open to any scenario, but I just don't see many success stories. And I know, of course, we're both going to say this because I'm in here at Creative Cubes, but I genuinely can't think of a success story of someone who was just isolated on their own in an empty room and went nuts and set up Amazon. Like I just don't see those stories. It never happened in isolation. I can't think of one.
So you make an amazing point. Even if all of that was completely false and there was situation, we're not here for a long time.
Yeah.
Let's be here for a good time.
Let's have a good time. Yeah.
So business to one side, if there was, the 0.5% chance that someone's built Amazon or the equivalent, in a dark dungeon of their house in complete isolation, are they happy? Are they enjoying themselves? Are they doing stuff that's really impactful and making a material difference to them and their lives and the people that they love? I would argue that no. So if for nothing else, I would say get out of the house because you're not here for a long time.
And then the practicalities of being someone like you, one of the most connected people I know, do you keep any sort of Oracle database or is it simply all on your phone? Do you make sure you have backups? I mean, I'm not as organized as you. Right now, if I lost my phone, I think I'd be up shit creek, to be honest. I think I'd better organise something at the back end because I think I lose a phone and then I start with a new phone. So I get messages and I'm like, sorry, new number, who dis?
Yeah.
I'm that guy.
Yeah, okay.
So I've obviously got room for improvement in this area.
Yeah.
How on earth do you manage, because you would know, like I'm being conservative, 100 times more people than me in terms of professional people that you could do business with. Yeah. How on earth do you manage it?
Yeah, I'm elite and crazy, all in the same breath, when it comes to efficiency. Right. So I go to bed at night, believe it or not, inbox 0. That means 0 emails in my inbox. None.
You're not well.
Yeah, I know. I told you, there's a fine line between elite and crazy.
No, it's just crazy. What do you mean? How can you? But 0. But
yeah.
So you'd be spending your whole day managing your inbox. You wouldn't get anything done.
No. It's not how it works. No.
How does it work?
Yeah, I mean, so. The idea of running a business because I manage my inbox is the furthest thing from running a business, right? It's just about touch points of efficiency. So I am, for lack of a better description, if we can use the basketball analogy, I'm a pure point guard. I'm distributing the ball. I'm distributing the inbounds to say, great, Byron, nice to meet you. Let's do this. Byron's like, hey, I can't do this today. What about you? 1 second, let me get James. Hey, James, can you handle it? And so I'm sort of like efficiently moving the ball around my team to put them in a position to win, and sort of almost like not involved in the intricacies of the play, because I'm handing the ball off and I'm going to my position for the next one, right? And so for those that are not basketball ballers, I'm crazy efficient when it comes to handling my stuff, and I'm fast. I feel like one of my secret weapons is speed, and I'm tied in. If I lost my phone tomorrow, I would just go, subject to having the funds available, to the Apple Store, type in my username, password, and everything will just be there. Right. It's cloud tech. I'm an entrepreneur. This is the world that I make a living in, and I need to be the best in market at it.
So no text messages. So if you saw mine and you saw like 104 on that little thing above,
I'm going to show you this.
you would go, oh my God, how do you live like that?
No, mate, look at this.
Well, there's nothing there.
Yeah, no, but firstly, if I do have a text message, I have photos for every single person, so I know who I'm talking to.
Oh, that's good. I haven't done that.
Yeah, Byron Cooke, there you are.
Oh, there I am. You've actually got my professional headshot. Thank you. Thank you.
That's a bit stalkerish, because most of these people, I'll go and find their photo.
Right.
Or if I can't find a photo of them, I'll put their company logo there.
That's brilliant. So these are great nuggets of advice.
And then my inbox, while it looks quite busy at the moment, I'll clear this before end of day.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'll clear this before end of day, but then I'll file it away into all these different folders. So really, I treat my inbox like my to-do list. And once it's done, once I've distributed the ball, that's now filed. And then I go to the end of the rack and pick up the next ball.
Even I've noticed, I know this seems very basic for you. Everybody I saw, and weirdly I was looking at your phone then, and I really shouldn't have been. I was reading messages. That was, wow, I couldn't believe one of those. Anyway, first and last name was there. Yes. I do random stuff like I met someone at a function the other week, and I can't quite remember what she did, and it doesn't matter what her first name was, but some subsequent communication, I didn't necessarily think she was the most stable person I met. So it's literally her first name and then her surname is Crazy Woman.
Yep.
Right. Or I'll put something like John Plumber.
Yep.
Like I don't even, like sometimes I'm in a hurry and so when I put their details in and then I can't remember why I called them that. So I have no idea who they are. And if they ever message me again, it's like, oh, Stacey Crazy Woman. Who was she again? I don't know. So I know that seems basic, but you're always first, last name, company, photo. So you'll Google image search a photo.
Yeah.
And then it's all backed up on the cloud. So everyone you meet, you've got full name, picture. Do you put a little description or something?
So in somewhere, like if I look at my wife in my phone.
Well, I'd hope you know what she looked like.
I hope so too. But if I look at my wife in the phone, just to bring her up, for what it's worth.
This is...
Yeah, no. So it's her name or her nickname?
Yes.
The most beautiful girl in the world is her job title. She's an emergency contact. I've got all of her details. I've got some notes about gates and access codes.
I just saw the access code to get through his front gate, by the way.
So yes and no. Yes.
Okay.
More often than not, it's the photo that triggers the memory for me.
Right.
So it's important for me to get that photo in, because when they email me randomly, oh, that's another rule, by the way, I'll get 180 emails before I wake up in the morning.
Yeah, and yet you still keep it
No.
clear.
160 of them will go in the trash.
Right.
Because one, they don't have a photo. Two, and that's not the reason they aren't. It's just they're soliciting me and I don't know who they are.
Right.
I don't have a relationship.
Right.
And they're writing to me about how all these things they can do for me and my organization when they really have no idea about me and my organization. So there's a lot of stuff. Back to my basketball analogy. I'm on the free throw line. We're down by 1 point. The game's over. I've been fouled and I've got 2 shots. I hit 1, we tie. I hit 2, we win. I hit none, we lose. And there's this idiot in the backdrop going, hey, look at me.
Wants the free chicken nuggets or whatever because you're going to miss both free throws.
And so for me, I put this in my head from a mentality perspective. I blocked that person out. All I see is the rim and the ball. And I've been through this motion a million times to be able to hit that shot every time.
Wow.
And so I try not to get distracted by the 180 emails, and I just focus on the 20 that are really important, and I go to the end of the world for those 20, and that's my job for the day, right? As an example.
Okay. No. And so things like in business context, a cold call or a cold email or one of those hideous LinkedIn messages from someone that you've never met.
Delete.
They just go.
delete.
Gone.
No apologies, no remorse, delete.
Wow, you're a savage.
No, but you have to be.
Yeah.
Because I'm running a company that's doing tens of millions of dollars in revenue, that serves 4,000 to 5,000 people. I've got a direct report group of 4 team members and a company of 40, 50 staff. I can't get distracted by that guy behind the back. I've got to do my role in order to make us get the win.
Oh, man.
And it's not about me scoring 40 either, by the way, but it's about me making sure that, one, I'm distributing the ball to put my team in position to win. I believe in my team in their ability to score or stop. In other words, spend the money to get the marketing right and stop spending money where it's not relevant.
Yep.
Or blowing cash. It's not about money, how much money you make, with how much money you save, right? In business. And so at the end of the day, if my number gets called and I'm at that free throw line to take us for all their hard work, it's 99, 98, and I haven't scored a point all game, but I'm now called on to hit these 2 free throw shots from the line. The last thing I want to do to undo all their hard work is get distracted.
Yeah. Wow. And that distraction, that's an analogy for, because I'm thinking now in this podcast, it's funny because it ends up being therapy for me and I get to learn off all these great people.
You can call me anytime, though.
Thank you, mate. No, I know that. And you've even got my photo and everything. You won't blow me off, which is great. No, but those distractions could be more than just emails. In life, we're faced with lots of things in life where it's some idiot behind the backboard, aren't we? In all areas of life.
Every 15 minutes for me.
Right.
Every 15 minutes.
So it's retaining that focus,
Yeah.
being open to scenarios, like you would even consider going to a nightclub if it was for the right reasons. But it's being open to all different scenarios, but understanding that play that's going to help you make the shot versus any number of different things that are I'm now going to think about that in life. There's going to be things in life that are
Yep.
and then there's going to be things in life that should be in my inbox with the photo.
Hey, and by the way, I'm confident enough to take a full 94-foot shot, right? If it's like a Hail Mary, it's not all about trying to get to the basket for the highest percent. It is about efficiency of trying to score at the most maximum amount of time. But I'll swing the fence as
You're
well.
taking
right?
a few long range shots.
Yeah.
Right.
And expect not to hit.
Right.
Right. But I'll go to the nightclub.
Right.
Right. I'll take that
That's
chance.
a real long one.
I'll take a chance.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I know that I'm most efficient when I've got a clear head, which is my 4 a.m. rise, my 5 a.m. exercise, my eating throughout the day is good, clean, and I am taking bite sizes of focus in order to get through the day.
Man, I tell you, like on your vlog, which I really enjoy, your Creative Cubes vlog, you talk to guests, and it's been so cool to turn the tables because, man, this is great. You should talk to yourself on that vlog. That would be great. Now, I want to wrap up by discussing what's coming up at the time of recording this, keeping in mind this will live on the internet forever, so there's always going to be a new Creative Cubes whenever you're watching or listening to this popping up in Sydney or Melbourne or who knows where else. Yep. But at least as of right now, there is an event happening right here at Collingwood that I think anyone who's interested in just checking out a space, if they want to switch up the way they're doing business or if they're thinking about this, I know how good these are because I've been to them, but just give it a wrap.
So there's a couple things. We have Open Day happening on October 20, 2022. So don't show up in 2027, right? Because this does live on the internet. 2022, October 20, 2022, we have Open Day. Open Day is free access for anyone that wants to just kind of, I heard it on Byron's podcast. What's this about?
Cool.
Come on in. We will not only give you a space to work from for the day, we'll feed you. We've got vendors coming, we've got pizza coming, we've got gelati coming, we've got a whole bunch of local brewers. So
Great.
Yeah, the local brewers are providing beverages all day. And so you can really come and just experience the space. At 5 o'clock on that same day, October 20, we have our first, every building we do this program called Pitch for a Spot, which you were at last.
Such a great thing.
In Carlton.
It's like watching a live episode of Shark Tank, except like the stakes are, you can see right in front of you, that person, if they do a really good job here and pitch their business to this panel of experts, they get to have that office and you can literally see where they'd be set up. Yeah. And it's like, and you give them a leg up for the first year, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, so actually, yes. So we give you 12 months rent free. Yeah. And to date, Pitch for a Spot has distributed over $600,000 worth of free office accommodation for business.
Really cool.
Something that Jeff Harris, who is one of the co-founders of Flight Centre, he's a major shareholder here at Creative Cubes. He instilled charity begins at home in us as a value. And so our value is, hey, there could be other Tobis out there that have these amazing burning ideas in their head, and they just need to be put in the right environment to grow.
Yeah.
There's this analogy that one of my best friends from school sent me. She's like, if you put a shark in a fishbowl, it'll only grow as big as a fishbowl. But you put it in the ocean, you get 6, 7, 10 footers, right? And so the analogy with us is charity begins at home. We want to enable people's success. We do that by creating a sense of belonging. Everyone, all walks of life, call Creative Cubes home. And we want to do that by leaning in, right? And so Pitch for a Spot is this season scale ups. So people that are revenue generating and looking to grow, continue to grow, can come to the effective of Shark Tank here at Collingwood, 5 o'clock on October 20, 2022, to pitch their business and their idea. It's not us to judge your business, but we want to basically get behind 10 companies to give them free space for 12 months, rent-free, to grow their business, their idea, their team in the right environment, which hopefully enables them tremendous success. And to date, I think we've done about 6 or 7 of these cohorts over the last 5 years, to the tune of $600,000.
So good.
Of free space given.
And you end up in an environment with the likes of Tobi and all these other great positive people around you, and you can't help but gain from all of that as well, and like-minded people that are here. I did want to give a shout out before I go to James at Purpose Productions, because I have my own ecosystem. I have my own gear in my own studio, but I wanted to come here to you because I thought for the YouTube channel we could show off how pretty it is.
Yep.
And you said, well, let me put James onto the case. And James is a guy who, has worked with Creative Cubes in the community and has a great story himself.
James showed up in 2017 with a skateboard and a camera and an idea.
See, how cool is that?
Fast forward, you guys can't see, but all this is being shot on James's equipment.
Man, we've got cameras everywhere. It's like a Hollywood production.
James
hey, James, get on the camera. Get over here. Get over here. He's probably using one right now. Come here.
James has half a dozen team members that
this
he
guy,
employs.
This bloke, rocks up on a skateboard in 2017. Now look at him.
I'm very, very proud of how he has not only grown, but also how he's contributed not only to the Creative Cubes community, but the environment and the neighborhood that he lives in.
Yeah.
This guy grew up with he's looking after his brother.
Yep.
His brother's part of Purpose Productions. He does all about editing. And
just
He emceed.
He was good. He killed it. Yeah. Like, I thought I might have got that gig, but James is much better. He's very, very good.
We only deal with professionals.
No, but you're a legend. Good on you, James. So Purpose Productions have knocked this together for me, which I really appreciate. Somehow you're a guest on my podcast, but I'm using all of your equipment and all of your space. So that goes to show the importance of relationship building.
100%.
Doesn't it?
100%.
And I consider you a mate. And I think that was a really unique insight into a pretty twisted human.
Yeah.
But someone who's done really well, and there's lots to learn from your journey, which I know continues. So Cubes.Co, is it not, online? And thank you, mate. Continued success. I will be here for Pitch for a Spot, just in the front row. I love seeing people pitch their ideas and then the really constructive feedback that these people get from some absolute industry gurus that, again, are all your mates. It's a great night. Highly recommend it if you're in Melbourne. Collingwood, October 20. And, of course, whenever you're watching this, I know there's some really exciting plans in Sydney and elsewhere in the world, which we'll have to talk about another time.
That's it, man. Thank you very much for coming to my place to be on your show.
I know.
With my equipment.
Yeah.
But with you as the host.
I look forward to you doing your vlog at my place. Can't wait. Tobi Skovron, guys.
Thank you, everyone.
On a dose of positive.
Thank you.